Have you ever wanted to look into retro games but aren't sure where to begin? Do you ever wonder which classic games stand the test of time and which ones don't hold up? These are some questions that have been bothering me for a while now, and I think it's about time to do something about it. So I'm going through gaming's history one game at a time to try to find the best games of all time. Welcome to the Gaming Archaeologist. So I was looking through some lesser-known Super Nintendo games when I stumbled across this gem. Until now I hadn't even heard of Blackthorne, but I have to say it's quite fun. It takes place on an alien planet. The opening cinematic, which is impressive considering the time period, shows that an evil villain named Sarlacc has unlawfully invaded a neighboring kingdom. The king knows that he has lost, but manages to send his son to Earth where he'll be safe. 20 years later, after spending some time in the military on Earth, our hero returns to this planet in order to avenge his father and reclaim his kingdom. The setting is rather interesting, as it has a mixture of medieval, sci-fi, and modern influences. In terms of gameplay, it's rather like Prince of Persia, except that everyone has guns. Unlike in a game like Contra, where you go in guns blazing, in Blackthorne you have to approach situations more cautiously. Aside from defeating the many enemies in your path, you also complete various puzzles, collect items, and make your way through the various levels. It's fairly straightforward, but it manages to have a really solid and oppressive atmosphere. The visuals and music help create a hostile environment, and on top of that, the numerous survivors you find either chained up or being forced to do slave labor help make this feel like a real and desolate place, rather than just a level in a video game. While some of the NPCs do give you gameplay tips, others simply moan in pain or plead for help, which adds to the grim atmosphere. It's also a nice touch that the NPCs can die, either when one of the monsters shoots them or when you accidentally shoot them. They often end up getting caught in the crossfire when you're trying to kill one of the monsters, and you feel really bad when this happens. The levels start off fairly linear, but get more labyrinth in nature as you go on. This, in combination with the numerous puzzles you have to solve, requires you to use your brain in order to reach the end, which is something I appreciate. It's not just keep moving right until the game says you can stop, there's more thought to it. This game is quite hard, and on top of that, the checkpoints are pretty far apart, so if you die, you lose a fair amount of progress. So why didn't it annoy me that much? Well, on top of the excellent atmosphere and good gameplay mechanics, the overall design is also good. First, no stupid lives or limited continue system. Yay! Automatic gold star for a retro game in my book if it ditches that stupid mechanic. Secondly, you don't die in 1 or 2 hits. Instead, the game gives you enough health so that you're allowed to make a few mistakes and still recover from it. Well, unless you fall to your death, but that's fine. So while the game doesn't penalize you too harshly for making a mistake, it also keeps you on edge, as you know you have a lot to lose if you do die. This is a nice balance of being challenging without being too frustrating, and it also feeds into the oppressive atmosphere of the game. It's not a super long game, but it is put together very well, and it's very different from other 2D side-scrolling games I've played for the Super Nintendo. On the whole, I'd say it holds up quite well, and it deserves more attention. My final score is an 8 out of 10. So those are my thoughts on Blackthorne. Have you heard of this game before? If you have, what did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts, be sure to let me know in the comments below. If you like what I do, feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. The next game I'll be looking at is Demon's Crest. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.